Hey there, my name is Cameron. Welcome to Beyond the Parallax Effect. This is Lesson 7. This will be the last lesson focusing on the 2.5D parallax effect. While this scene looks very simple, there are many things going on to make the scene work. So let's dive in and get started. In Photoshop, the work that needs to be done is relatively simple. Use the Quick Selection tool and select the foreground rock. Make sure to select the people and small bush that sit atop the rock. For this scene to work, only a background and foreground need to be layered. There is no need to paint in the background since the foreground rock will take up a large portion of the frame. In After Effects, import the layered Photoshop file. Double-click the composition to open. Enable 3D and motion blur for both layers and the timeline. Position the foreground layer closer to the viewport. Give it a negative value on the Z-axis. Position the background layer back in Z. Scale it up to fill the frame. Position the foreground layer on the X-axis so that it covers the duplicate of itself in the background layer. This eliminates the need to clone and paint the background. Create a new 50mm camera. Move the camera slightly to the right. Zoom in a bit. The camera will do a straight dolly from side to side. Set a keyframe at 0. Move to the end of the timeline and move the camera on the X-axis. Ease both sets of keyframes. Give the parallax more depth by turning on depth of field. Set a keyframe for the focus distance. It's easiest to see focus distance by switching to two views. In the top view, camera focus distance can be visually determined. Focus on the background plate. Ease this keyframe. Move to the end of the timeline and refocus on the foreground. Turn up the aperture and blur values to create separation depth. When building out this scene, it felt a little empty, so atmospheric fog was created using a solid with trap code particular applied. In the Effects Builder tab, load the Rock Fog preset. This fog is meant to separate the foreground and background layers. Drop it below the foreground and position accordingly on X, Y, and Z. To enhance the fog effect, duplicate the layer, but drop the layer opacity of the top layer to around 30%. Duplicate this layer and place on top of the foreground layer to add fog in the foreground. Load the preset Big Rock Top Fog. Reposition the particles on Y. The foreground fog's transfer mode can be set to hard light to help it blend better in the scene. The foreground fog will take on more color of the scene and create more atmosphere with this transfer mode. If you do not own Particular, an easy way to make fog without third-party plugins is to apply fractal noise to a solid, set the fractal type to cloudy, and begin adjusting brightness and contrast. Animate the evolution to get a subtle but nice looking fog with fractal noise. Scale to proportionally fit the scene. To finish out the composite, add a new solid layer. Name it Sun Flare. Add Video Copilot's optical flares. The preset is almost identical to the default preset that loads with the plugin. Set the transfer mode of the solid layer to screen. Position the flare. Make the flare 3D and position back in Z. Turn up the brightness and scale. Add the camera lens blur effect to the sun flare. This will make it appear that the sun flare reacts to the camera focus pull. Set keyframes to match the camera focus. Drag the composite comp into a final output comp and resize to HD. Scale the composite and position. Set keyframes on the X-axis to exaggerate the camera movement in this comp. Import the letterbox PNG. Reposition the composite comp as necessary. Apply CC vignette and adjust. Add a new adjustment layer for color. Apply the curves and levels effect. Add one final adjustment layer of grain and keep it at the default settings. And there you have it. This wraps up Lesson 7. I hope that you enjoyed learning all about the 2.5D technique. Leave your comments below and let me know what you think of this lesson. In the next lesson, we will be taking a look at a completely different way of creating parallax.